we are moving to another part of the session where we are going to be having a conversation. And in this conversation, I hope that it's going to be lengthy, it's going to be detailed, it's going to ask the questions again directly, not a presentation, but a conversation of an entrepreneur who's also walked their own journey and met their own hurdles and having their own growth. I'm going to be inviting on stage a lady who promotes self-actualization, awareness, and maximizing potential. The company Consciously Becoming, it unlocks the possibilities of the mind so that you can identify golden opportunities in life. Transformation, development, and empowerment is what they are all about. And your number one accountability partner in becoming your best self, that is what they are using to sell themselves. We are going to be talking right now in this conversation. So think of this conversation as, you know, that conversation you have, that Mbawula, Mulo feature, that fireside chat, where it's really honest, it's engaging, it's opening up, it's sharing information. And I'd like to invite on stage founder of Consciously Becoming, Dipuo Zulu. Round of applause, please, as she comes on stage. Dipuo, hi. I'm good. We'll get your mic on volume and everything. How are you doing?
I'm good, yourself.
Great, great. Are you able to pick up? Great. So what a morning. How has your experience been, Nje, today, looking at everything that has been happening up to this moment?
Honestly, I want to start off by saying thank you to everyone who took their time out of their own homes to be invited and to take part of this initiative, because it's only a curious mind that would sit down there and listen to all the speakers, because you have that intention of wanting to develop and grow yourself. So based on that, I would like to say thank you to everyone for investing in yourself and taking the initiative. While it's Saturday and a lot of people are out doing whatever that they're doing, but you chose to sacrifice your own time and being here. And what I can say is, it's out of such events that your story too one day will be told.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. Your story too one day will be told. Let's hear about your story. What's your story in business?
Okay, Dipuo is born and bred in Mokopane. I can see faces. High school.
Shout out. Which high school is that?
I went to Waterberg High School and Gileli Hoërskool Piet Potgieter.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And then from there, as a young girl having dreams and ambitions, I went to further my study, Gadia psychology. I also have a bachelor's of social science honors in psychology. And when I had to be elected for my master's, reality yatloa, I was not elected.
Sure.
Not because I wasn't good at what I was doing, but simply because life takes its own detours. And in those detours, you need to now decide for yourself what is the trajectory of the plans that I initially had for myself. And my reality was coming back home.
Sure.
And coming back home, immediately getting home, Mujolo took its vibe, I fall pregnant. The reality of it was, I came home, I thought it was gonna be a gap year for myself. Now what do I do? Okay, at that particular time, a teacher assistant. So my story is no different from anyone else. Lina, I faced the hardships of life, which I still encounter even now. And I told myself, I need to do something with what I have. Yes, psychology is a degree, but what skill do you have, Dipuo, that you can be able to utilize and give back to community around? And I studied life coaching. And from there, the journey of being educated and teaching myself has never stopped. So from studying life coaching, I went on Gadira wellness counseling so that I can also be accredited, because if you haven't done your master's as a psychologist, you can't be registered under the board of health. So what way do I provide quality services to clients other than that? And I think with all that turmoil, with all that rejection, with all that failure, I failed moving forward. That's when I birthed what I have today called Consciously Becoming. I realized that growing up more Mokopane, I grew up in a family where abuse was order of the day. So it wasn't anything physical, but emotional. And I told myself that I do not want to see any young girl or young boy growing up in such conditions. So I became that savior for myself, but not only for me, for the people that I would be advocating for too.
That's a beautiful, I mean, it deserves a round of applause. That's a powerful story. And before we get into your business, I want to just touch a little bit on the part that you mentioned. And it's about a story that many South Africans share. Matriculate, go to school, study whatever it is you study, whether you complete it or not complete it, come back to face the reality of the job market not absorbing you. And coming to a point where you decide to become an entrepreneur. And sometimes some of the inner, battle that you have of still craving, because you have a psychology qualification, still wanting to be in the market and an opportunity to get into business. And that whole thing of, am I in business because I'm hungry? Or am I in business because I'm a real entrepreneur? And sometimes it's questions you don't even ask yourself, but remarks that people make. Or no, Pala, when are you doing this because of stomach politics? It's not necessarily because you're an entrepreneur. Just speak to that, whatever comes into your heart right now about exactly the statement that I've just made.
Okay, I think I always use the philosophy, Yagore, life happens to us, right? But everything that is happening to us is happening for us. So anything that you're going through in your journey, a mistake. It's meant to shape you. It's meant for you to take those experiences as building blocks to craft your own tomorrow. So why am I saying this? It's because there's someone who's sitting here and who's saying, I want to start a business or I have a business, but I'm not certain and I can see the situation. I need to work, I need to have an income. But I'm saying to that person, if that situation is what you find yourself in and you don't even have the financial muscle out of the situation, business can save you. And why am I saying this? It's because that will create generational wealth for not only yourself, but generations and the kids that you're trying to actually fulfill and take out of those situations. For me, having that option, choose a business over work, I wanted to say, let me redefine the narrative of a black child who feels like things are impossible, but I'll show them it becomes possible. And even if it is through me, I'm no exceptions to the rules of life. I will still succumb to the pressures of everything, but I will take that as teachings and build on and not give up.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Absolutely powerful. So let's get into your business and speak to me about your business with exactly what you've just said, with this at the back of your mind, what you've just said to me right now, building generational wealth, having a big vision. Because sometimes we struggle with having that big vision because we've got immediate problems to solve. So our business are limited in a way that we think about them for buying groceries, paying school fees, but we can't think generational wealth like what you said. So talk to me about your business and where your headspace is when you look at your business.
Okay, for me, thank you for the question. When I look at what you are actually talking of, I look at a person as an individual. So what Consciously Becoming does is, normally people would ask me, hey, do you do marital counseling and so forth? And my answer to that is no. And why do I say that? Because I'd like to believe every problem that stems out of society, whether it is in marriage, whether it is in relationship, whether it is in your business, it stems from an individual. So my target is the individual mind. Until you can conquer your own mind, there's nothing else that you can conquer outside. So consciously becoming is saying, I'm speaking to exactly where you are in your subjective experience, despite your own beliefs, despite your own background, despite your own traumas and experiences. We embrace you just as you are in your own unique way by telling your own narrative and telling your own story of how you want to become and what the vision is. And for me, I always say, for you to actually fortify your mind and fortify your life, it derives from your purpose. What is it that when you sit down, you want to exude in spaces? The fact that you're here is solely in relation to your own purpose and life journey and trajectory of Bophelo ba Gao. Secondly, what is your potential? What is your strong point when you look at yourself and say, these are my capabilities? And do not only just limit them at that. Apply yourself as a student of life, because you never know what more else can you do if you don't explore. I always say then, go back. What is your planning within that? Because if you simply fail to plan, you're planning to fail. So what are you planning in your own individual journey that you want to see materialize one day within that vision, within that mission? And that will also motivate you on daily basis, every day. And in that planning, you're able to prioritize. What is your highest value? Even sitting here right now, do you know what your value is? Some of us, we believe in things simply because we were conditioned in that way, simply because and they told us that is the order of the day. But do you even know what your highest form of value is as an individual and as yourself sitting here today? And not only that, that will help you also define partnership. Who are you willing to collaborate with? Meaning that you understand your own strengths and who can complement those strengths for you also in business. That goes a long way, because you're saying, I can do only to a certain extent, but who's willing to actually sacrifice their time to come and help me to actually do more? And that's where your employees come in, to know how do they complement you and how do they then take further the vision of that particular business. And it does not even say, what is the prosperity that you want, the success of your own particular business. And all that dwells upon posterity, which is the future outlook on future coming generations.
You can tell, talking to Dipuo, that no, definitely she's psychologist. She's motivating us. She's, and this is also how her business has been structured, right? But I want us to get a little bit out of the motivation and get into practically in your space, right? The importance of information in order to grow your business into what it is. The importance of accessing information, because you were you studied psychology, right? Didn't get to the master's level, so you have that background. But even when you had to start a business, you had to go for further training so that you are in a niche and that you specialize in what you are doing. Because it's very important as an entrepreneur to understand, where do I need to be empowered? Where do I need to upskill? Where do I need to get information in order for me to grow the business? So speak to that in different sectors that we find ourselves in, to say the importance of aligning yourself with the right information that helps you to perform at your best in business.
Okay, like I said, I'm no exception to the rules of life. So with me, starting up a company, I started off with zero capital. There was nothing, right? And the question was, what do I want to do? And how can I access the information that I need to? And that came down to the networking session. So if you would say to me, about 1, 2, 3, I would show up. Even if it's nothing that has in relation to what I want to do. But I knew over there, I will meet someone who will tell me something that will be beneficial in my journey. From there, it started networking sessions that are just happening around, dialogue sessions that would come up. And then from there, we have surrounding minds, which would create the maybe exhibition or every let's say Anglo-America or Ivan Platt is coming where you would go. If they say there's a program, I registered. So the business accelerator course, I've done that. Youth development courses, I've done that. when they talk about knocking at doors like NYDA, that's where I actually headed, where they gave me my first startup, 10,000. And from there, I just used it and say, okay, I'm going to use this and move forward. I've looked for mentorship, which is one of the key elements in how you can obtain information. But the struggle is, most of the time, we look for mentors, but those sometimes who are at the top are the ones who become the gatekeepers to the information. And that's the sad reality. So what you have to do is you need to have some level of consistency and resiliency to tell yourself, even if they're going to push me left, right, center, but this is what I want, and one day I will get it. Part of that journey is rejection, but I'd like to believe network, collaboration, and opening yourself to opportunities, whether in that state you meet the criteria or not. Because now I would apply for things I know definitely. Sorry to tell you, we have been rejected. But I wanted to take that rejection and say, what is the feedback about Mpho? Okay, Dipuo, we see that you need to maybe improve on your finances. We see that you need to improve maybe on your marketing skills. And I use that like maybe rejection as form of feedback to myself in terms of how do then I improve? Because sometimes, the fear is failing in front of people. But the reality is, for you to persevere, you need to fail in front of people. And that's how you gain your emotional resiliency to move on.
I would like us to stay a little bit on the issue of rejection. Pair it up with what you said. Good now. Yes, thank you. I like that. But entrepreneurs, is it bad to give up? Because all of us know somebody in our circle, family, neighborhood, whatever, who has been trying and trying and trying, and it's been years, and it doesn't look like it's coming together. And, you know, I can paint a scenario. Imagine you have a partner where they have this big dream of doing whatever, building generational wealth in whatever way, but it's just not coming together. It's not coming together. And, you know, let's be honest and practical about it. Is it okay to say, I really tried there. Let me throw in the towel, it's not working. I don't know, throwing the towel, it'll be, let me go back again into the Z83 market and try for a job? Or is it a matter of going back to the drawing table and saying, what else can I look at? Because this that I'm trying, it's not working out. Or until something comes out of it. I'm asking for somebody.
Okay, it's a good question and difficult to answer because we are all different. But what is your intention when you initially started that company? Ne? And I want to be practical with you. The practicality of life is when business is a Mokopane for a number of years, it's easy to give up and close the doors. But I'd like to say it comes with a level of flexibility. So we are coming into a space now where we're talking about automation. We're coming into a space where we're talking about AI. We're coming into a space where we're looking at solar, energy. And here is Dipuo, who does consultations on a face-to-face level. But when you look at my competitors, they've all gone online. Is it that I am this thing that I'm trying to do, or is it that because as Dipuo, I'm not giving myself enough room to grow and to change Maya? Because those systems and those strategies maybe would implementing at that particular time, they are phased out. Why is it that you're not curious enough to find out what are my competitors doing that is different? If really entrepreneurship is what you love, what are they doing that is different that I'm not doing? And not to say you're doing exactly, but you're taking it in and collaborating it in, and then applying that also with your own mindset, skill set, and then you're saying, at this unique selling point, this is my niche, and this is what I'm going to do. Maybe that could potentially work out for you. But I know of a situation where if we become practical, money is what makes things go round, right? And when you're sitting and things are not working out, the first idea is, how do I do it? What you can do also is that while you're also running that business and you feel like chelete ayo, you can look for a part-time job. It's about the willingness of doing something that if we nyakakan it, you can look for a part-time job. Take that income and supplement it to your own company. That's something you can also do. Or what is it that you're doing? For example, myself, I'm a counselor, but I also have maybe background in facilitation. Can't I be a freelancer, yeah, someone else, you know? And then freelance, and with that money, it's a cash injection, cash flow, while I still try to maintain my dream. And those are some of the viable options that you can take in. Or if this business idea is not working, what is it that's in the market that I can diversify? What is selling now? For example, my business might not be doing well now because, but they're in the hype, the December, it's all about letting loose, you know? So what is selling at that particular point? Can't I take some of the money that I have and take a risk as an entrepreneur and invest in that? Whether it is maybe or I don't know what you can do, but something that you know I'll definitely utilize and pour it back into my business and move on.
I like how practical you are with that. Let's look at some of the things. You said money. Of course, it makes everything go around. We need money. We're in business for us to make money, for us to survive and to grow and get a profit and all those things. But on that journey, there are mistakes that we make as entrepreneurs. Some of the really horrible bad habits that we adopt as small businesses, and we only catch a wake up when we have an opportunity to be funded. And bring your financials. Swipe the KFC, swipe the wings, swipe and all those things. It's just mingle moves. What are those bad habits that as entrepreneurs we need to let go of? Because we have that growth mindset, that we are not small-minded and just here for survival. We have that growth mindset. So what are some of those bad habits? Maybe before you answer that, as you're thinking about that, if there are questions that you have that you would like to ask, just please indicate, and then we'll get a mic to you. I saw two at the back there noted. If we can just get mics to just be closer to them, and then after your answer, we'll just attend to those questions. Yes.
The truth is, with everything that we do, we cannot ignore where we come from. So our historical background of where we come from plays a role in some of the mistakes that we still even do today. Because the reality of it is, when you come into a township, utlakasi and so forth, if you just look at and observe and analyze the lifestyle on its own, you can see that this is a black child responding to trauma. And the sad part about it is we don't necessarily even have the necessary tools and systems. And even talking about that, we don't know how to access those particular systems or tools in terms of healing. I'd like to say money is spiritual. Business is spiritual. The reason why I say that is if you don't have a form of grounding in terms of understanding what grounds me, then everything that will come will automatically flow out. And money is something that whatever source you believe in, whether it's Kibadimu, whether it's Kimanyeloi, whether it is God, whether it is your higher power, there has to be something that you know that you believe in that can ground you. And when you are grounded, that's when you can now start swinging your way into the fundamentals of understanding what actually is financial literacy. Because many of us, we walk into doors, they teach us and educate us about the business accelerator course. This is how you handle your money. But the reality is, Dipuo school fees spatage. Did we even eat? And yet, kamo banking 20,000. And to your own family, unale chelete. And these are the realities that we live in. They make me emotional because I was once there, once upon a time. And I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm no exceptions to the rules of life. And with that, I'm saying, even when you don't have plenty, okay, I see people crying. I didn't mean to make you want to cry. Even at that, the reality is, for you to have a bigger vision, you need to be able to be in spaces where you can see that vision. Until you have seen it, that's when you can know it's possible for me to go there. So majority of our young black brothers and sisters have never seen anything outside Kasi. And that's where the mentality is. When you talk about Senten, but like a diamond walk, they've never seen that. And they cannot even envision it. So the stories of a black child comes with what exposure do you have? And only then can we talk about the vision and the ability to navigate certain things, because reality is we're still traumatized.
All right, thank you. Can one of the ushers help me? Maybe if I can get tissue this side, please. A mic at the back there, a question. Thank you so very much, appreciate it. I saw those two hands that were up. No, we are good, thank you. The two hands that were up at the back, question. Is there a mic there? Thank you. Let's attend to that. Thank you. Introduce yourself and ask your question.
Thank you. I'm Molokaraseu. What I want to know is, you were speaking of mistakes just now, and then mistakes are different. I mean, there's different scales to mistakes. Looking at, for example, what is happening at Drip right now and Tupperware, those were actually big businesses that people were looking up to. So I just want to understand, as people are scaling, some we're not on the same level as we are here. There are some that have started, there are some that are big right now. How can you advise those people in terms of those people that are actually grown right now to say, this is where you shouldn't be going, this is what you should be looking out for in order for you not to fail? Because it's easy to speak of us failing when we are still small, but then how about when we are older, when we are bigger, when our businesses are big? What then can we avoid?
Thank you. You can go ahead.
Okay, thank you for the question. That is actually a brilliant question. One of the things that you can identify is that when businesses are big, they become targeted. But I'd like to believe, Ore, some of the mistakes that you talk about that are happening now, as opposed to Drip and other companies for the likes, right? The problems started in the foundation phase. So how you do your basics is what will outline where you possibly can go. Reason why the basics, everything that is happening, you hit that bar of where you are, and then come and remind you 2019 that you did not even have the necessary information and knowledge to. But now, because it has accumulated to a level, you go through a liquidation process. It's things that you did not know when you started. So that is why I'm saying, when you are in your preparation mode, which all of us go through, make sure that you are equipping yourself with the right channels. In business, maybe you have certain information that you can access. And sometimes, even my door, for example, it's not only that you walk through that door because of pathology consultation fee. I do even pro bonos sometimes because I understand the struggle that goes in within the townships that we live in and the realities that we are faced in. But on that note, is you just asking a question, how do I do this? Majority of us as entrepreneurs, that question yarpalel. Because actually Dipuo, you see me sitting here, how can I maybe ask so and so? But if you learn to ask, you will know the right answers and channels of where you need to go.
Thank you. We still have the mic at the back. Can we have that question, please?
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's so touching. I'll just to say this before I can raise my question, that indeed as an entrepreneurs we need to bend the ships. And as we are visionaries, we need to do what we called in the law of attraction. The law of attraction, I always say that there is nothing that we called luck into the business industry. It's law of attraction, meaning you need to work hard. And the opportunities will attract you through your hardship. Because we opt to leave that in our mindset that we have this mentality of saying, no, this have been lagged and all that. There's no luck. It's hardship. Once you work hard and give it a swing and give it a bash, that will happen. My question to you, Sissy, is that hence you have indicated deep challenges, and that's the realistic of our entrepreneurs, or as in entrepreneurs, that we indeed encounter challenges that how about to start the business? Starting a business, when you spoke here, you reminded me that I've been in this industry for more than 15 years. 15 years, but nothing was not happening. But because I had a vision, I have an appointment with future, I come with the strategies on how to overcome those challenges. Mokopane, there's no place that I don't go out and make business. Today, cosmetic brand is there because I came with an idea of what can I make a new money for my business to grow. It is because I will travel from different perspective of points to go and make business, quick check, and then we'll start, you invest the money to the business. You buy the product, you buy whatsoever that you wanted to do. You mentioned about families that are also taking part, or partners that are taking part into the business corporate. Is it true that, true fact, that one is 100%, I'm giving it that 100%, that is true for us to get the moral support from it's either families or partners, because they thought once you have a business, you have money, and of which is a wrong angle to our parents, to our partners, that the money that I got, I don't even get been paid at the end of the day, because I invested the truthness of my vision into the business. So in a simple term, my question is that, hence you have shown us already that what is the challenges. What would you advise to upcoming young business entrepreneurs, that what should step they could follow in order to climb their vision as they're intending to achieve? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. For me, I'd like to believe that when you ask about what should be done to a young child who's aspiring to walk into that entrepreneurial journey, I'm saying it's not only down to me in motivating that answer. It's down to everyone who's in this room. Are you a walking, leading example of those you left at home? If we can take it upon ourselves to learn what we are accountable for ourselves, our homes, our kids, our schools, our society at large, then at that, we get to change the narrative of what it means to live in a township and Kasi, where we can see there are resources that can actually equip us, and we can forge through and fortify all that we need for ourselves. So you sitting right there, you are a leading example and answer and solution to what will happen to the next generation of tomorrow.
Sure. We still have a question in the front. There's a mic, please hand that mic. Introduce yourself and ask your question.
Hello, hello everyone. It's Belangwana from Mokopane. Nice to meet you again, Ms. Dipuo. Speaking of your services, I wanted to ask something related to spirituality, since it's a fact that everything starts spiritually. Ne? I wanted to know, with your service, do you offer where you help clients to align with their calling? Because I believe every single person in this room have their own calling. And at times, we start business that we're not even related with, and we don't even have a calling relate to that business. Because going back to the spirituality thing, this whole thing it connects with the universe. Every single person in this world has meant to endeavor or be successful in a certain thing. I wanted to ask that, does your service help me as a client to identify with my calling? Because sometimes our businesses fail because we are in the wrong line of our businesses. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that question. Just to clarify, normally when I talk about spirituality, so with what I did was, I saw that psychology was not enough, right? Because psychology, you sit and I would advise. But the advice on someone who's 30 years, 40 years, or 50 years, I've never been or never walked through experience. So what can I say? You will implement maybe you understand? So my solution, maybe it might come from a point of privilege. So I saw that there's still a gap in psychology. And then life coaching says, I meet you at a point where you are, right? And therefore, I do that not with telling you, but with asking you the relevant questions so that you can unlock the answers for yourself. And I mix that with spirituality. And my spirituality, normally when I would have my clients, they would say, are you a medium now? And I say no. The reason why they would say that is because I would not say I align you, but I am able to get in contact with your own DNA, whether it is, I don't know, you believe in I'm not in a form where I could say maybe kingaga or no, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if your situation is deep, sometimes it allows me to connect to your own genetic history of being able to spot certain things that you don't see and provide answers, not solutions, answers that you in your own way, unique way, you know what it resonates and what it means for you. And from that, you are able to then connect the dots of finding the solutions and the answers to fully align in whatever that you want to do.
Thank you. You mentioned earlier on about when you walk into a township and you see all the efforts from young people, you realize that most of the time it's a response to trauma, a lot of the times. I think let's maybe look at your own journey to say when you look at your own entrepreneurial journey in putting your systems in place, in getting profits, in growing the business, in getting clients, in doing all these things, what do you wish you had done differently so that we can learn from your mistakes?
The first thing I think for me that I could have done differently was believing more in myself. And the reason why I will say that is because the journey of entrepreneurship becomes lonely sometimes because you need to implement a vision that no one around you understands. So when you do not believe in yourself, the outside noise tends to crowd what you have for yourself. You end up even implementing things that are not within your lane, but in someone else's lane. And when you don't also believe in yourself, you don't know what is it that you're sometimes even doing. And how do I then stand in front of everyone and say, Dipuo Zulu, I'm a psychologist or I'm a wellness mental practitioner, if I don't believe that myself? So the biggest mistake I've done is not believing in myself. And if I could change that now, that has shaped me and shifted me to be more resilient emotionally and mentally, and to fight my positions in every room I walk into. Whether qualified or unqualified, I take my position and occupy.
So, in conclusion, we are coming to the end. So if you had not asked a question, this is the moment to get your hand up because we are wrapping up. All right. There's one hand, a second hand. These are the last two questions we'll take, and then we'll wrap up the conversation. Let's get your question.
Dumelang. I just want to ask, you touched something about loneliness, ne? And as you know that as entrepreneurs, we always go through the phase of being lonely and everything. So, and there's also a trend of mental wellness and awareness and stuff like that. So how do one get to a point where they they pushing the hustle of the business, but at the same time taking care of their mental wellness and their spirituality, but at the same time going through the struggles of hustling.
Okay, thank you for the question. I was just a free consultation.
Apa consulta girl. I don't know if you are aware. I keep on trying to bring the entrepreneurship stuff, Mara. We are in a consulting room here.
Okay, so how I would answer that question is, I think it will still draw back on your source in terms of what grounds you. So in that loneliness, I will use myself as an example. What are the things that ground me? It's not friends, it's not family, it's not anyone, my partner or anyone like that. I go to petition with God because I'm a firm believer in God. So within that, I also ask that those that I walk with, Balori, it's either my ancestors, Manyeloi, whatever, they also be part of the journey. And in that loneliness, I understand, what is my purpose? My purpose is healing and educating. Educating is bringing awareness to other people so that they can take that information and apply it for their own lives in terms of what it means for Bona. And then in that, I understand, my energy is sacred. And in that, I need to find and put myself in spaces where I will be able to then gain that momentum, energy. And if it's being alone, what is that restores that energy within me? And for me, it's worship, praying, and always coming into petition with God, reflecting and journaling my own emotions, exercising, eating right, making sure that I sleep, and following a routine that is balanced for me so that I know mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and all other elements, I'm well and equipped to go tomorrow.
Okay. The last question that was noted before we wrap up. A mic, please, gentlemen, please. Please raise your hand so that they identify you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thanks for the whole presentation. It was really, really nice. My name is Mpho. I'm coming from Nedbank. Unfortunately, we won't be giving you money today. But yeah, I think my question is more related to the earlier question. Especially coming from the banking side. We've got a lot of clients, and I believe some of you are potential clients that will be looking forward to meet you after the session. Most of them are bankers at the back there, wealth of knowledge in terms of banking. So we really, really want to build up the foundation of your financial wellness and your financial education. So it's very, very important that we do engage. So one thing I really, going back to the topic, you mentioned that the state of mind, where you stay, what grounds you is very, very, very important because it determines the stability of your financial decision you will be taking. And majority of us entrepreneurs, I'll include myself in this case. I'm also here as an entrepreneur to learn. Maybe in future I'll go into business. So, sorry, thank you. Another free consultation question. So how can, I know not all of us here can afford the services that you do offer. It's a privilege that you're here with your master's degree and all the knowledge that you have, to give us this service. But just on simple terms, you did mention some few things, but just to improve our financial state, what are the basic things? Those things that I need to consult and can pay you money, that everyone can walk away with and spread it among the community and also those who are going into business in future. Even us at the bank, when they come to us, we already know they have a base done, built by Dipuo. The basic things that we can actually practice, and I believe each and every one of you will walk away to say, you know what, this I'll play and practice as I live here. And it was nice meeting you. Thank you. Just the basic things that everyone can do. You did mention health, you did mention exercises, but I really want to see the community and everyone at large also growing and wiser as much as you are. Thank you so much.
I think the basics with that would start with waking up in the morning and affirming yourself. That has been one of the basics for me. And everything eki bulelang, it's not an exception to things that I have not done or practiced on myself or that I'm not doing. You wake up to affirm yourself. Ask yourself the question each morning, who are you? And after you ask yourself who you are, take on the initiative to answer with bravery and being fearless. To say, I'm going to use myself for example. I am Dipuo Zulu. I'm an educator. I'm in wellness. I exude the spaces that I enter into. I am enough. I am worthy. I know that everything that I will do today will come true, and I will exude it with potential, with power, and with diligency and delicacy of it turning out to be positive. I am positive. I don't delay. I deliver on time. So these are some of the affirmations you tell yourself on daily, even for your business, where you want it to go. After that, you command. How do you command and order your day? To say today, I don't care come rain or sunshine. When I walk out of this door, I will sign a deal. When I walk out of this door, clients. Yes, there are some days where it becomes hard, but you remember your why as to why you started. Today might not be the same as tomorrow. Mara definitely, if you have a positive mind and saying, client, there will be a client that walks in. And when the client walks in, Barry, first impressions last. How do you accommodate that person in your business? Are you grumpy because unale matata arao? Or are you actually going to have that smile on your face despite what you're going through and saying, Likai, this is our services, our products so this is how we are different. So that that client, even if kiena abuang every month, you are able to retain them and knowing that I am making a difference in whatever that I'm doing for myself. Moving forward to that, having a balanced life, it's highly important. Unfortunately, ngasi share all the tips as to how. But a balanced life, inothoma ka dijo, inothoma ka gore o robale, proper sleep. Ithoma le ka gore, how do you talk to yourself wena o le tee without anyone intervening? If you have a positive mindset, which is not easy sometimes, affirmations will help you to get that positive outlook, and it becomes possible. I wish I can share more of the strategies or the systems, but unfortunately, due to time, I can't. And I know same as me, who have their own experiences, who have their own stories. Use that story to inspire you every day and never stop looking down on yourself and tell yourself, it might not be today, but tomorrow my dream will be true.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Maybe let's share your contact how people can get in touch with you, social media or whatever, email, phone number, so that those that want to get in touch with you for further consultation can do that.
Okay, I think the quickest thing that I can share, but I think the quickest thing that I can share is number, because that will make more communication more efficient. So my number is 081 877 3515, and the name ki Dipuo. And those that are in and around Mokopane, our offices D109 Reiter Road, Mokopane, ke strata sa Poso. And then I think from there we can engage and talk further, and hopefully each and every one of you will become a client.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you so much for just being so vulnerable. And, I know the conversation was meant to be going another way, but it went where it needed to go. And with what was shared, you were able to speak into the entrepreneurial experiences of all of us in our different ways, in our different spaces. So thank you. Thank you so much for who you are. A round of applause, please. We're going to be taking pictures. Come stand here in the middle for me. Ready to receive your gift and just to take pictures. There you go. Look at the camera guy. There he is in front of you. Have a look. Smile, pose. It's all right. So, thank you, thank you. You can receive your gifts now.